Ever had that friend who's either the GOAT or the most annoying person in the group chat? Yep, Bruno Fernandes is that guy in football. Love him or hate him, the man's a walking stat machine. Most assists by a Portuguese player in the Premier League's history. Most chances created in a season for United, ever. But here's the twist. Half of you think he's a football answer to Einstein, and the other half swears he's just a fancy flick merchant who kills team vibes. So, is Bruno actually a genius, or is he low-key overrated? And wait, there's a spicy truth about his game nobody's talking about. You'll want to stick around for that. But first, you know the drill. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and let's settle this Bruno debate once and for all. So here's a quick question to kick things off. Has Bruno Fernandes been the best signing Manchester United has made since Sir Alex Ferguson called it a day in 2013? Seriously, think about it. Since 2013, we've seen big names like Pogba, Zlatan, and Marshall wear the red shirt. But is Bruno a cut above the rest? Let us know what you think in the comments. Whatever your take is, one thing's for sure. Bruno has delivered big time for United. Goals, check. Assists, check. Free kicks, penalties, clutch moments. He's done it all. Since joining in 2020, this guy's been nothing short of sensational. He was so good that even United fans were losing their minds after his first season. Just look at tweets like these. Bruno really is something else. We genuinely robbed Sporting Lisbon blind for him. It's been a year today since Man United finally signed Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. What a signing he's been for the club, and what a bargain buy it was as well. And honestly, it did feel like a bargain from day one. Why? After his arrival in January, Bruno didn't just fit in, he dominated. He was arguably the best player in the Premier League for that stretch, dragging United from a mid-table mess to an impressive third-place finish. To really understand just how special Bruno's impact was, his performances in June of that 1920 season didn't just get him Premier League Player of the Month award, he also bagged Goal of the Month. And get this, he became the first player in Premier League history to win both awards at the same time. But he didn't stop there. Bruno also became the first Man United player to win back-to-back Premier League Player of the Month awards since another Sporting Lisbon legend, Cristiano Ronaldo. And to top it all off, he was named Manchester United's Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year, an award given to the club's best player of the season. Now, just to put things into perspective, Bruno scored 12 goals in 22 games across all competitions in that half season alone. His contributions didn't just push United back into the top four, they also played a massive role in deep runs in both the FA Cup and Europa League, where United reached the semi-finals in both competitions. Everyone loves to say that January signings usually flop, and honestly, they're not wrong. Most mid-season transfers struggle to make an impact, but Bruno didn't just break the mold, he shattered it. In fact, he was so good that you could argue he's the best January signing in Premier League history. Don't believe it? Well, just listen to what a club legend like Paul Scholes has to say about him. He's better than me, he's different to me. He scores more goals than me, he creates more goals than me. I'd like to play with him, probably behind him would be alright, but no, he's been sensational. A big difference. Is Bruno Fernandes truly better than Paul Scholes? Now, some people will say Scholes was just being humble. After all, the guy isn't known for blowing his own trumpet. But others will argue that Bruno has carried Man United in a way Scholes never had to, especially during some tough seasons. So what do you think? Is Bruno really better than Scholes, or is it just recency bias? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. If Bruno's second season at United, all those traits were on full display. Bruno ended the season with 28 goals and 17 assists across all competitions. Let that sink in. 28 goals as a midfielder. That's not just impressive, that's insane. It also meant he was United's top scorer that season. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. It wasn't just about how many goals or assists he racked up. It was also the timing and importance of those moments. Bruno didn't just get lucky with a few good stats. He delivered when it counted. Whether it was high-pressure penalty, a thunderous strike from outside the box, or a perfectly weighted assist, Bruno was the heartbeat of United's success that season. Bruno's performances were so unreal that fans couldn't help but pour their hearts out on social media. Just look at tweets like these. Bruno cost £47 million from Sporting Lisbon just over a year ago. Since he joined, he has now 50 goal contributions, which means every goal or assist has been worth £940,000. And I repeat, he has only been here for just over a year. We robbed Sporting blind. Or how about this one? Really need that captaincy taken off Maguire. It is the starting point for serious business. Hand it to Bruno Fernandes and we take it from there. Yes, Bruno was that good. Fans were practically begging for him to be given the captain's armband. And you can't blame them. The guy led by example on the pitch every single game. But it wasn't just the fans who took notice. That same season, Bruno made the Europa League squad of the season, was named in the PFA Team of the Year, and won Manchester United's Player of the Year award for the second consecutive year. Not bad for someone who'd only been at the club for about a season and a half. And get this, he created 15 big chances in the Premier League, the 5th highest in the league that season. So going into the next season, folks look forward to the Bruno Fernandes show. And how did it turn out? Well, not like we expected. The 2021-22 season wasn't exactly a great one. This was when Bruno Fernandes started to split opinions. United struggled in the league and Europe, and it was because players like Bruno didn't always bring their A game. You had folks starting to question his influence, his decision-making, and even his leadership on the pitch at this point. And the critics weren't holding back. Former Arsenal player Samir Nasri didn't mince words after Bruno missed a penalty against Arsenal that season in Manchester United's 2-1 loss. The Frenchman had this to say: "Bruno, I'm not a fan of him. He has stats, but if you watch his games from start to finish, he lacks a lot of things in his game." Brutal, right? But Nasri wasn't alone. United fans were getting increasingly frustrated with Bruno's constant complaints to referees. Let's be real, everyone knows how much Bruno loves to moan on the pitch. It became such a thing that there was even that viral clip of Jadon Sancho telling him to stop moaning. The same guy who was once seen as United's saviour was now getting slammed on social media. Just look at tweets like these. Bruno can't beat players, can't run, can't play under any pressure, can't perform in big games, can't pass, makes the worst decision every time, makes stupid pressing decisions. He is horrid. Or this one. Bruno Fernandes has a big problem, a very big problem. He's so easily riled up, always nagging refs, shouting at his teammates for not meeting his overhit balls, always crying, like a spoilt teenager. He simply can't keep calm, especially on the ball. But it wasn't all bad for Bruno that season. In fact, there were some pretty impressive moments, especially in the Champions League. When United needed someone to step up, Bruno was still the guy to deliver. Remember that crucial 2-0 win over Villarreal? It was his perfectly timed assist that set up Jadon Sanchez's goal, sealing the win and securing United's spot in the round of 16. And here's a fun stat for you. That assist made Bruno the first player to provide assists in 5 consecutive matches of a Champions League campaign for an English club. Sure, United crashed out in the round of 16, but guess who finished as the top assist provider in the Champions League that season? Yep, Bruno with 7 assists. Even when the team was struggling, he was still making things happen on the biggest stage. The following season saw new Bruno. This was Bruno wearing the iconic number 8 shirt, stepping up with leadership qualities and reminding everyone why he's probably the best signing since Sir Alex Ferguson left. He ended the season with 28 goal contributions across all competitions. But it wasn't just about the numbers, it was about the way he carried himself on the pitch. There was a maturity to his game, a sense of responsibility that hadn't been as evident before. By the time Bruno played his 100th game for United, his stats were nothing short of ridiculous. He had more direct goal involvement than any other Premier League player during that period, racking up 45 goals and 34 assists in all competitions. And it wasn't just about scoring or assisting. Bruno was back to being the creative heartbeat of the team. He created the most chances in the 22-23 Premier League season, with 119 key passes. That's the highest on record by a Man United player in a single campaign since 2003-04. His influence on the team was undeniable, and it showed in the results. United secured a 3rd place finish in the Premier League and qualified for the 23-24 UEFA Champions League. After all the ups and downs, Bruno was back to being the guy who made things happen. And with his newfound leadership, it wasn't exactly a shocker when he was named the club captain, replacing Harry Maguire. But here's the million-dollar question. What do you make of Bruno's captaincy so far? Has he lived up to the responsibility, or is there still more to prove? It's a topic that definitely divides opinion. Some say he's the passionate leader United needed, while others feel he's too emotional on the pitch. What's your take? Is Bruno the right man to lead Man United back to glory, or is the jury still out on his leadership? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. And hey, while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Done? Alright, let's get back to it. Let's check out some tweets about Bruno's captaincy era and see if they line up with what you've been thinking. Bruno Fernandes is the worst captain in Man United's history, most overrated. Since his first day, Bruno did his best for Man United even when he had a hard time, and now he's leading Ten Hag's procession as the captain of the team. No one deserves to lift a trophy with Man United more than him. When will it become popular that Bruno is the worst captain in United's PL history? Maybe only close to Maguire. Bruno Fernandes is the best captain in this club since Roy Keane. Talk about polarizing. People can't seem to make up their minds. 1 minute, he's the worst captain in United's history. The next, he's being compared to a club legend like Roy Keane. Speaking of Roy Keane, how do you think he feels about that last tweet? Well, if you know anything about Keane, you can already guess he didn't hold back. After United's crushing 0-3 loss to rivals Man City, this is what the former United captain had to say about the current one. The first thing I'd do is change the captain. Bruno Fernandes is not captain material. He's moaning all the time. He's the complete opposite of what a captain should be for me. Not that he'd let those types of comments bother him, because Bruno's captaincy era has seen some truly special moments. 15 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. That's what Bruno brought to the table that season. One of the standout moments was when he scored his 50th Premier League goal with an audacious strike from 50 yards out in a 2-2 draw against United's arch rivals, Liverpool, at Old Trafford. And he didn't stop there. Bruno was named Man United's Player of the Month for April after scoring 7 goals in 6 appearances that month. And to top it all off, he won the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year award in May, becoming a 3-time recipient. But the highlight of his captaincy era so far has to be the 2024 FA Cup final against local rivals Man City. This was more than just a trophy. It was about local bragging rights and pride. And Bruno showed up when it mattered most. He assisted Kobbie Mainoo's goal in what turned out to be a 2-1 win for United, securing his second trophy with the club and his first as captain. It was the kind of performance that defines legacies. Remember Roy Keane's harsh words about Bruno's leadership? Well, after that performance, even Keane had to hold his hands up and admit he was wrong. He said, "I've been critical of Bruno over the years, but I've been proven wrong. His leadership was outstanding. I've always mentioned how brilliant he is as a player, but in typical Bruno fashion, in the following season, he gave us some moments of madness as he made the wrong kind of history in the 24-25 season. Bruno became the first Manchester United player in 16 years to receive 3 red cards in a single season. The last guy to achieve that was Vidic back in the 2008-9 season. And this is exactly why some people still question his captaincy. It's moments like these that make fans wonder, does Bruno have the temperament to lead a club as big as Man United? Can a captain afford to be that hot-headed? It's a fair question, and you can't blame his critics for asking it. But then again, just when you think you've got Bruno figured out, he pulls off something special, like that clutch stoppage time volley against Rangers FC in the UEFA Europa League. It was the kind of goal that leaves you speechless, a moment of pure brilliance that secured United's place in the round of 16 playoffs. And that's the story of Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United so far. An explosive rollercoaster journey filled with breathtaking goals, mind-blowing assists, moments of brilliance, and yes, moments of madness too. From being hailed as the best January signing in Premier League history to having his leadership questioned, Bruno's time at Old Trafford has been nothing short of dramatic. But here's the big question. Is Bruno Fernandes truly a world-class footballer? Do you think he's the right man to lead United as captain? Or should Amrin be looking elsewhere for leadership? Let us know what you think in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss out on more deep dives like this. And hey, stick around. Click on the next video for another juicy story. You won't want to miss it.